Hey there, Internet. What is up? Anharis here with another exciting StarCraft 2 broadcast. With me today are our two grand finalists from LastPlayerStanding.com's third SC2 Open. We have ISCrazyMoviN of Team Infinity 7, spawning as the Purple Zerg in the 12 o'clock position against Baboon Prime, who is actually Czech, playing under a different account here, spawning in the 6 o'clock. On Metalopolis, one of the really fun maps. Now, it was reintroduced into the ladder rotation in Season 4 with the close spawns disabled. So, we're not going to see their opponents scout out here with Overlords or with Zerglings or anything like that. They're just sending them to the close by air spawning positions, and they're going to be going from there. So, ISCrazyMoviN already knowing that his opponent is spawning in cross position, he's going to be adjusting his build accordingly. This Overlord sent out a little bit later. It's going to be, we're going to wait and see. We do already have a different build than the previous couple games. Last few we've had a 10 pool, and now both players sitting on 13 supply. Now we could see 14-14, something like that, or we could see an expansion first or a spawning pool first. We're getting to that point now where we're going to start to kind of pay attention and see what happens. We see Czech starting to drop a gas there, so he could be going for that kind of conservative style play where you focus on getting early metabolic boost, which could actually lend itself very well to pressure on an expansion, which could be the tactic he's going for. Likewise, ISCrazyMoviN dropping down his own expansion first, no spawning pool or anything. Kind of a risk, but at the same time, if he's able to get this up, it will be a huge payoff. As Czech is going for a build that will give him an expansion much later on after having mined 100 gas and gathered that metabolic boost. You know, you're finally going to have those drones transfer back to minerals and get enough for the hatchery. Will he be able to apply enough pressure to basically even it out a little bit? That's what I'm going to be kind of concerned about here in the early game, is if Czech is going to be able to knock out drones here, or at least get up into the mains, knock out some here, establish control before a spine crawler goes down. Of course, it is a moderately decent close for the, or decent distance for the ramp, so you know, a couple queens can come over here and block this off as they have in previous matches. But now with that 100 gas to complete, that metabolic boost is on the way. Not even making any Zerglings right now, just saving his drones. Look at this. He's currently sitting, there we go, getting the expansion down, currently sitting at around, actually almost got it down to 0. Pretty close, but it's always fun to watch that. Seeing if a player can touch the bottom of the barrel in the early stages of the game. It's really impressive if they can do it in the super late stage. I think I saw one game one time where it was like 30 minutes in. I forgot who was playing. MVP, maybe? But, yeah, we were like 30 minutes into the match, and he ended up getting 0-0. I was just jaw-dropped on that. That guy is such a phenomenal player. So, ISCrazyMoviN with his first couple Zerglings out and metabolic boost on the way, doing things in kind of a flip order, but you could see that, again, this is pretty much just panning out how you would expect it to. And with these Zerglings already coming out, Czech knows his expansion is definitely behind. He wants to take advantage of this early speed upgrade, which is going to be kind of difficult to do now because the creep is already spread around here. So these Zerglings aren't going to be as slow as they would be out here, but still, that's going to work a little bit in Czech's favor as well, as he's going to be able to come in and drive off the drones, run away super quick, and try to basically just pick off any Zerglings that he can. But again, these two queens being in the position that they are, really going to limit Czech's ability to do any serious damage to this expansion. At most, he has forced a few additional larvae with the Zerglings. Wow, that's a lot actually. We have 12 Zerglings on the way. As far as the unit tab is concerned, we see 24-12. So this is actually a really smart move by Czech, I think, realizing that his opponent's expansion went down super early, decided to go ahead and dedicate a lot of the larvae to drones instead, not really trying to match his opponent's Zergling count. He does have a few over here, but what he is doing instead is taking advantage of the additional gas that he has and making some Banelings. Now, if he can keep these Banelings, you know, around here, defend the expansion, hold off against an attack like this, then he's going to be sitting pretty. But, oh, here we go now, folks. The Banelings coming in. 5, 6 Zerglings getting taken out. Oh, nice hit there as well. 2 Banelings left. Will he be able to hit these Zerglings? Nice. Nice again. Still, so many Zerglings. Good unit control by ISCrazyMoviN there at the end. Allowed him to keep a lot of these Zerglings alive. The Spine Crawler should be able to mop up, though. Combine that with the fact that we do have Check trying to micro his queens. Now, this was actually a very subtle micro, but I liked it a lot. He brought one queen back here, just tucked it in a little bit, and tried to move the other one and condense the area that those Zerglings could actually get in and attack this low-health queen. One of them at about half health, the other one choosing to run away. He's got to be careful in that. But, you know, he will be in a pretty strong position to at least hold the natural expansion for a little bit longer. He does not have any Banelings, though. That is a pretty important... Oh, no, he does have 2 Banelings. I apologize. He has 2 Banelings. And he is actually... Oh, nice hit there for ISCrazyMoviN, taking out both of those. Will he actually decide to take advantage of this new opportunity? We'll know in the next couple seconds as he does continue to run around the map. We, of course, can see that he hasn't actually produced any more drones working over here, as he is primarily just focusing on tons and tons of Zerglings and going for early pressure. Having these Roaches here will be a great counter to the Banelings. I mean, again, Roaches have like 80 gazillion hit points here in the early stages of ZVZ, and they're just very effective for absorbing damage from units like Banelings. As far as income is concerned right now, 16 to 24. We see that both players are split evenly on the gas. The big difference is the minerals, where we see Check is mining with a lot more drones down here at the natural expansion than his opponent. But with all these Zerglings running back now, they are going to be assuming quite a defensive position. Will Check actually be able to come in here and do any significant damage with these Banelings? A couple Zerglings being sent out. Again, just trying to snipe off a couple Banelings here and there. Uh-oh. Keeping these Banelings on the creep, very smart move, but even though he is running them way up here to the top of the round, there's no way he's going to be able to catch those. He's got to be careful, as he could stand to lose actually all of those Banelings now, just from single target Zerglings and Roaches. Yeah, we're not going to see him really press forward much more with that. A few Zerglings, just again, base defense, not too much that really I think ISCrazyMoviN is going to be able to do with these Zerglings. Check knows he's in a pretty solid position with a couple additional Spine Crawlers, a few Banelings as well. Check actually trying to escort these Banelings back to base. Oh, he goes in. Can he get this? Oh, man, that is just begging for a Baneling head. But we see the Roaches are accumulating up here for ISCrazyMoviN. Now the question is he going to try to force an engagement down here at the expansion? It would be kind of difficult. Again, Check already has, you know, he's got the second hatchery down here completely saturated with drones. He's got his own Roach Warren Evo chamber, and, you know, just overall a much better economy. And you look at that, it's reflected in the numbers right there. Double the gas, more workers, and higher mineral income. As far as resources lost are concerned, we see neck and neck. Oh, no, now they're completely even here at almost the 12-minute mark on Metalopolis. Losing an Overlord there, just sacrificing it. ISCrazyMoviN working on taking out that second one right there. And we see him going into Tier 2. Now, going into Tier 2, without collecting a whole bunch of gas here, kind of makes me wonder, is he going to be going in there with the intention of maybe just getting the Roach speed upgrade and going for an attack, hopefully trying to bust up his opponent? I think that could be an incredibly risky move, though. Again, we see down here that Check was able to get his mineral line saturated and moving a long time before his opponent. Even though this hatchery went down, ISCrazyMoviN made it such a point to produce so many Zerglings. Check was very smart in getting those Banelings looking back now. So we'll just continue to let ISCrazyMoviN get going here, as I'm really anticipating, like I said, a Roach push. Again, he realized great success with it in Game 2. And he knows that being behind in the economy like he is, he's got to do something. And, well, the game is moving forward, folks. We do have Weapons 1 about halfway complete for Checkprime's Roaches. I'm sorry, Check. I knew I'd make that mistake here, but Spire going down as well. So we could actually see that same muta pressure that we saw in game number 2 that was just so out of time. I mean, 20 seconds earlier would have been fine. He could have attacked those Roaches as they were coming down, had them half dead by the time they got there. Spine Crawlers would have been good, and that would have been that. So ISCrazyMoviN now currently sitting at pretty close income, about 1180 to 1500, 38 to 55. So that's a pretty big gap right there in terms of gas. We see that he's currently mining off of 3 right now. He does have that Glail Reconstitution upgrade on the way, which is indeed the speed of Roaches. Weapons 1 as well for the roaches. So once that finishes, he could decide to attack. He does have a bunch more roaches on the way. Probably once he has these done, he'll be moving out. Again, he knows that he only has a very limited amount of time. And see how he comes in here and scouts out this spire? He knows that it is complete. So he decides to move out immediately, knowing that once again this game is going to come down to exactly how game number 2 was. By the time he gets there with those roaches, those mutas should be popping out. Check, of course, has control of the watchtower, so he knows those roaches are on the way from the north. Throwing down several more spine crawlers, folks. This could be a huge... Oh, man, roaches coming in, working on taking this out. But keep in mind now, this time we also have the mutas ready to go from the get-go, and the roaches here to absorb a lot of the damage as well. Hopefully for Check buying enough time, but will ISCrazyMoviN be able to deny this expansion and get some anti-air up? That's going to be a really, really interesting question here. He does have a Hydralisk Den now complete. And he will be able to get up some anti-air at his base. I believe he actually already has a spine crawl, but nice hitting the queen there as he is going into the base. Will he be able to knock out this one as well? Yes, indeed he will. So this attack not realizing seriously any major gains. I think that ISCrazyMoviN is going to be in a really, really terrible position in the next few minutes. Reason being, he just lost all that supply. You know, Zerglings can come up here, get into the mineral line now. That was a big deterrent for him. Ramp is obviously exposed, but more importantly, all these mutas now are able to come out in full force and start knocking out all of these overlords, denying the supply, get into the mineral lines before spore crawlers can go down. We see 4 of them on the way as we speak. They will be able to finish. But notice how we have 6 Hydras just now starting to pop out here. So, again, that is so many Mutalisks. He's just going to be able to go straight up against the spore crawlers. 1 down, 1 Hydra down as well. Check could actually pull this off, ladies and gentlemen. This is a phenomenal play. You know, the timing of these 2 builds are just so neck and neck for when they can be effective. You know, if those roaches had attacked 20 seconds before they had, I think that ISCrazyMoviN could have had it. But, you know, those mutas, man, they came out. We saw in game number 2. It all comes down to that little 30-second window. ISCrazy is trying to move these Hydras out in order to get them basically in a big enough force to be effective. But it's not that great because right now his Hydras are split up 2 and 2. There's the GG. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Check is able to stay in this game, this match series. LastPlayerStanding.com, best of 5, grand prize, $500. Second place, $250. All right, let's go into game number 4.